June 1981, pregnancy, birth, and developmental history were all normal. Amanda has no allergies and no unusual cognitive problems were noted in early childhood. Since the age of 12, I've struggled with my mental health. I remember asking my mom one day, years ago, if hearing and seeing things were normal, and her response still sticks with me. You're too young to know what real mental health problems are. Whenever I try to reach out and ask to see someone for help, she always gave an excuse to dismiss what was going on, like I needed more sleep or I needed to stay off that phone. It was years before I was actually diagnosed with anxiety. I wake up in this puddle of sweat. I have nightmares when I get back into bed. It's like these voices just keep playing on repeat and I can't get them to leave me alone. According to Oxford Dictionary, generalized anxiety disorder is defined as a disorder characterized by excessive or constant anxiety affecting two or more aspects of life. Nearly 7 million people struggle with an anxiety disorder, yet only 43% of the 7 million are receiving treatment. Through the prose Turtles All the Way Down by John Green and Little Panic by Amanda Stern, the poetry Dear Anxiety by Clayton Jennings, various stories from timetoChange.org, and various articles from various sources. A program entitled Anxiety, a Fear Sentence, because fear of the unknown can make the ability to move forward almost impossible. Amanda was referred for a language and learning evaluation because of her low scores on the ERB intelligence test done on February 24th, 1981. Amanda performed particularly poorly on the subtest of verbal reasoning, and there was concern about language processing problems. Sometimes I don't want to do something with people because I don't want to leave the house due to feeling too anxious. It is easy for me to be hard on myself for not being able to accomplish what I think I should be, especially the small things. Amanda is also reportedly terrified of tests in general. These demons keep pressing me. I swear they're the worst, but I've grown comfortable with their presence. My conscience is callous. My dreams are their playground. My thoughts are their palace. Other behavioral difficulties include a notable problem separating from her mother and a general fearfulness. Ever since I was little, I've pressed my right thumbnail to the finger pad of my middle finger. So now there's this weird callus over my fingerprint. After so many years of doing this, I can open up a crack in the skin really easily. I started to call in sick to school more often because I didn't feel well enough to go in. Not because I had a stomach bug or anything, but because my anxiety was really bad. I was 10 the first time I had a panic attack, like a punch to the stomach, and I didn't want to tell anyone because I was too scared about what they say. But I know deep down there was nothing they can do to take it away. I attribute Amanda's poor performance on testing to performance anxiety linked to her fear of failure and difficulty extracting meaning from silent reading material. Back then, all emotions felt like play. Like I was experimenting with feeling rather than stuck with it. True terror isn't being scared. It's not having a choice in the matter. Considering that not even my own mother would believe me, I truly felt alone and thought that no one would listen to me and brush me off as a liar or even a fake. You're being dramatic. Just calm down. It made it hard for me to reach out for help or take care of myself in the ways I needed. I felt embarrassed to tell people the truth, and I would also tell myself that it was an anxiety. I was in denial. Anxiety disorders are real, serious medical conditions, just as real and serious as physical disorders such as heart disease or diabetes. My conclusion conclusion is that Amanda has convinced herself she is not smart. Her efforts are spent avoiding situations where she might be challenged and exposed for who she believes herself to be. Amanda's anxiety is so extreme, no test will adequately assess her true ability, aptitude, or level of achievement. I mean, forgive me if I fantasize about being gone today. I'm an actor who got really good at being on today. But when I turn off, I go right back into the shadows. I mean, I'm in the deep end now, but I started in the shallows. And I might just drown myself in these waves. I found myself canceling plans with friends and family. I would accept an invite, and then a couple days before, I would cancel and make something up. Sometimes I wondered how my family even tolerated me. How any of them did. I mean, I've spent my whole life trying to run away from that feeling of being lonely, that feeling of being lost, that feeling of being sick when the lights turn off. There would be moments where I just couldn't breathe. The thing about a spiral is if you follow it inward, it never actually ends. It just keeps tightening infinitely. That feeling of being anxious, that feeling of screaming to God, begging him to take this. And I just couldn't breathe. I can't 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 breathe. Recommendations are to see a child psychologist to treat anxiety. I need help. Take deep breaths. Inhale and exhale slowly. Count to 10 slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm moving forward out of the slump. I mean, I took my bruises, I took my lumps, and I fell down, but I got right back up. It's taken me years to realize that I need help, and that no one but me can choose whether or not what I'm dealing with is real. That people will reach out to help me if I ask for the help I dearly need. That I won't be told I'm too young, or it's because I'm tired, or because I'm on my phone too much before I go to sleep. You're doing your best. You cannot control everything. I mean, look at you now. Now you're not laughing at me. Now who is the one who's being tortured and poked? Now who's the one who's closing every door that I want? Now who's the one watching the other burn to the ground? I think it is worthwhile remembering that yes, for me, anxiety can make mundane tasks difficult. But I can feel proud that I've battled it. Don't look away from me, you better turn back around. I'm watching your moves and I'm stalking you too. And when you try to ruin some other kid's life, I'll be stopping you too. Mental illness can be incredibly isolated and lonely. But remember, there's always someone who cares about you. Someone who will care if you aren't there anymore. And it may not always be the person you expect. You took 16 years of my life, and I can't get that back. You told me to end my life, and I nearly got killed for that. You took me down, but I bounced right back. I was lost, and I got found like that. There are days that are worse than others, but you will get better.